Vital Records, this is Nicholas speaking. How can I help you?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the name.
Nicholas?
Hey, Nicholas, got a question for you. Are you involved in the birth certificate area?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm not a sir, just to let you know. I don't use any labels.
Got it.
Thanks. Here's my question. The birth certificate is a certified copy of a document. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. What is the name of the document that's being copied?
The original?
Yeah, like the original.
Certificate of live birth.
Okay, it's a certificate of live birth. Is that something that comes from the hospital?
It's registered within the hospital. That's what the parents do. They register it with the birth recorder,
Uh-huh.
and that information is submitted to us.
Okay, to Vital Records?
Correct. The state office, yeah.
Okay.
And
so
we hold it here in our vaults, and then that's what we're able to issue certified copies of at a later date.
Okay. And so that which is being held in the vault is actually something that's created. It's a document that's created by Vital Records. Is that right?
Not created by us, but created by the hospital.
Okay. Well, they're actually sending you like a record of the birth, and then you create it, and then Vital Records creates a document of that record.
Well, we actually just keep that record that they send us,
Mm-hmm.
that mother and the attending physicians assign, or that the midwife assigned, and that's basically given a file number.
Uh-huh.
It's recorded into our database. We also create an electronic version of that original certificate,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's what's kept in our vault.
Okay.
The original one gets, hole punched and put in a big book, and then that's put on a shelf.
Uh-huh.
If it was 1990 to present, those ones are all electronic.
Okay. Well, here's another question. So the original that's in the vault, who or what actually owns that?
The state of Arizona.
The state of Arizona, which is a corporation, correct?
Government agency?
Mm-hmm. Which is all incorporated. It's actually a legal corporation. Is that how you see it?
I'm not quite sure what the legalities of it are.
Okay. Well, so this is the way it actually is. So I'm just going to go ahead and proceed under the fact that state of Arizona is actually a corporation, and they are the owners of the certificate of live birth. So my next question is, can I have that certificate of live birth? Can that be given to me or conveyed to me somehow or another?
A certified copy of it can.
Only a copy of that can be given to me. Okay.
Certified copy.
Okay, so I'm established. I'm just trying to get the chain of logic here established. So I don't actually own the certificate of live birth. State of Arizona owns it, and I can only get a copy and only when I pay a fee. What's the fee for that?
It's a $20 fee per certificate.
It's a $20 fee per certificate. For it, or, I'm sorry, can I get the birth certificate without actually paying for it?
No.
Okay. So not only do I not own the birth certificate, the original, I don't own that. I also cannot own a copy of the original unless I pay for it. So my next question is, I'm going to need, since a corporation owns this thing and has a copyright claim on it, since they made it and since they own it, it's theirs. How do I get permission, or can I get permission to actually request and use the copy of the original certificate of live birth so that I might go to the DMV and get a driver's license or to get a passport?
No question. Throwing a lot of big terms out there. Are we just trying to get are you trying to get your birth certificate so that you can get your ID or your passport for traveling purposes?
Well, here's the thing. I've just established that the original certificate of live birth is not mine. It's owned by the state of Arizona, and they will only give me a copy of what they own.
All that. Are you trying to get your ID or your passport?
Well, we have to be careful with because it's not mine. It's the state of Arizona's. That's their property, and they own it.
Question, though. Are you yourself trying to get a driver's license for yourself or a passport for yourself for traveling purposes?
No. Not until I get express written permission to use that document.
Who's trying to get an ID or a passport?
Well, hold on a second. In order to get those items that you just mentioned, I would have to get legal permission to use the state of Arizona's intellectual property called the birth certificate.
You're throwing curveballs at me with those legalities. That's something I'd like you to discuss with my manager, if you'd like to.
Okay, so
if you yourself are trying to apply for a birth certificate, I could definitely help you with that.
Yeah, but me, myself, can't apply for a birth certificate unless I use a corporate-owned name on the birth certificate, correct?
In order to apply for a birth certificate, you need to submit an application, a copy of your ID, or you can have your signature notarized. We'll verify that information. If it's you, we'll send you out a birth certificate.
But I'm not a signature or an ID. I'm me. And what you're saying is I have to use the corporate name at the child's name.
My manager, okay?
Okay.
Hi, can I help you?
Yeah, hey, what's your position at the company?
How can I help you?
Hey, what's your permission? Who am I speaking with?
My name's Dana.
Hey, Dana, what's your position at the company?
I'm a program project specialist. What can I do for you?
Is that at Vital Records?
Uh-huh.
For Arizona. Okay, very good. Yeah, this is what I'm trying to find out. As I was just speaking with the other individual, he indicated to me that the state of Arizona owns the certificate of live birth. Is that also your understanding?
We hold the records. We hold birth and death records here in our office.
Right. So they have an ownership in that. They own it.
Okay.
And so are they willing to sell the original to me?
No.
Okay. So then it's not mine to even ask for?
No, we issue certified copies of birth and death records.
Okay. Now, so in order to get something that doesn't belong to me, that would be the birth certificate. How do I go about doing that? How do I actually...
How do you go about obtaining a certified copy of your birth certificate?
Well, actually, it's not of my birth certificate because you just said it's the state of Arizona that holds and owns that. So it's actually their property. So how do I get a copy of the state of Arizona's property and then on top of that get permission to use it?
Okay.
Yeah, so on the birth certificate it says something to the effect of void if copied. So that's a copyright claim being asserted by the state of Arizona, the creator of that document. It's obviously their document. It's their intellectual property. So what I'm trying to figure out is how do I get a hold of their property and also get permission from them, the creator of that property, to use that property for other legal things.
Okay, so you can write into us. You can download an application from our website.
But then I would have to...
I'm sorry?
Well, the problem with that is on the application it asks for the property of the state of Arizona, which would be the name at the child section. That's actually their property on the birth certificate. So I can't even use that until I get some kind of permission to use that property. So basically what I'm trying to get to is we've already established that the birth certificate is not mine. If it was mine, then I wouldn't have to pay for it, right? I would just say, hey, give me my property, and Vital Records would give it to me. But Vital Records, according to the one I just spoke to, they say that can't happen. You cannot get a hold of the birth certificate because you don't own it. Vital Records owns it.
You're making this more difficult than it needs to be.
It's very simple.
If you'd like a copy of the birth certificate of either yourself or your child, you just need to submit a request for the copy, and we'll issue you a copy of it, and you can use it for whatever purpose you need to use it for. It's a certified copy of it. You can't just make photocopies of it. That when you make photocopies of it, it's stamped voided. We issue if you need more copies, then you have to purchase certified copies.
But if it's mine, why can't I copy it and use it as I wish?
Well, if you choose to make copies of it, it's stamped voided on it.
Well, why would it be void if it's mine?
Because it's certified paper. That's federal law. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Well, I think what I'm establishing, or I hope to establish with you, is it's not mine. It's just a copy, and anything that's mine, I can do whatever I want to with it, and I certainly don't have to pay for that which is mine. And so what I'm trying to get to is, because these things aren't mine, these documents are not mine, if I were to request them and use them, I need express permission from the one that actually owns these items. And so that would be probably from...
What are you wanting to do with them?
Anything. Anything. Say, for example, if I were to go to the DMV and request a driver's license, the first thing they're going to ask for is that birth certificate. Here's the problem. It's not mine to give to them. Okay?
You are more that you. That's why you get a certified copy. People use them all the time.
But how do I get a? How do I get a? Here's what I'm asking. I'm trying to be very straight and lawful here. How do I use something that's not mine to use? If the birth certificate,
it is when you obtain a certified copy of that original we issue you certified copies of that document, and that's what we issue you certified copies of that document for. We've been doing that for hundreds of years.
Well, people have been breaking the law for hundreds of years too, and it just kind of goes unnoticed. But it's still breaking the law at the end of the day. So what I'm trying to get to is, if that thing that we've already established, it's not mine. I have to buy that thing from the owner, which is the state of Arizona.
That's up to you. If you, I mean, that's up to you. So if you would like to obtain a copy of the birth certificate, that's up to you. If you choose not to, that's up to you.
But it's not up to me.
I mean,
it's not up to me, because if I wanted the birth certificate, the owner would just give it to me free of charge, and it would be mine without restriction, without any copying provisions, no restrictions whatsoever. It would be mine to do whatever I wanted to do with it. So what I need to get, is written permission.
You want your original birth certificate?
It's not my. Hold on a second. It's not mine. It's the state of Arizona's.
Okay. So if this is, I mean, it's up to you. So do you want a certified copy of your birth certificate or not? It's up to you. I mean,
well, your birth certificate. No. You're saying your birth certificate. It's not yours. It's the state of Arizona's. They would have to convey to me something in writing indicating that they're transferring ownership of that document over to me. So can I get that? Can I get something in writing that they are going to give me free of charge their property?
No, we don't. So
if
you would like to purchase a certified copy of
hold on a second. Hold on a second. Just to conclude here and recap. What we have established here is that the state of Arizona Corporation, according to you now, will not give their property over to me free of charge. That birth certificate is theirs. They will not give it over to me free of charge, which makes it impossible for me to use or even possess a document that they own legally. I would actually have to commit fraud in order to get the state of Arizona's property. I would have to misrepresent myself as the legal name at the child section of their document in order to illegally acquire the birth certificate. And
no, that's not. It's the birth certificate that's established at your birth and registered with the state of Arizona.
But when I was born,
and this goes back hundreds of years. So
this is not my birth that we're talking about. We're talking about the birth of the birth record itself, the birth certificate, which I had nothing to do with the creation of, in which two people so far have indicated is owned by the state of Arizona. That's their property. It's not mine. In order for me to get their property, they're going to have to convey it to me without charge. If it's mine, it's mine.
Where do you, I mean, I don't even know where you get that from.
You just told me that the state of Arizona, the guy before you said the state of Arizona owns that.
Told you that. Neither one of us told you that.
Okay, does the state of Arizona...
Corporation, nobody told you that. All we've told you is that if you'd like to request a birth certificate, you just need to complete the application.
So who do I pay for the birth certificate? Who do I pay for the birth certificate? I pay the owner. Who's the owner? Who's the check written out to?
We don't accept checks, so...
What do you accept?
We accept money order, credit, or debit.
And who's we?
So, the state of Arizona.
So that's the owner, so I have to pay the owner for a copy.
Just as if you were to go to the motor vehicle department and purchase a driver's license.
You just said I have to pay the state of Arizona to get a copy of that which is not mine. which is the original birth record, correct?
Okay, so that would be just the case if you were going to get a driver's license.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just the birth certificate.
I understand. It's just, but you'd go to purchase a driver's license as well.
But I can't do that without the breeder document, the birth certificate. So we need to establish what the birth certificate is.
You'd have to pay for a passport.
No. Okay. So, here's what I'm getting to here. I have to pay for a copy, some amount of money to the owner of the original. Correct?
Sir.
Seriously, who am I paying? If I'm not paying the owner of the original document, then what am I paying for?
You're paying for a certified copy of the birth certificate,
which is owned by the state of Arizona, correct?
It is. We are the keeper of the documents. We are the keeper of all documents.
Okay, well, give me that original document, and I'll be the keeper, and I'll give you a certified copy.
We can't do that because then if you lose that original document, who will give you that again?
Why would anyone need to give it to me? I'm the owner.
Yeah,
I can make a copy of my own.
People lose things.
I can make a copy of my own.
Yeah, but people lose them all the time. So that's why we...
So you're asking me to trust the corporate entity?
We're not a corporation.
Vital Records is certainly a corporation. Do you receive a paycheck?
Do we receive a paycheck?
Do you receive a paycheck?
Of course.
Well, what pays you? State of Arizona. What is that? That's a corporate entity legally created.
Okay. Sir, I'm going to end this conversation. I'm not going to argue with you.
Let me just one more. There's no need to argue. No need to argue. I just need to know the answer to one thing. Can I get written express permission to request and use the birth certificate?
We do not give you written express. If you'd like to purchase a copy,
would that be a no or a yes? No or yes?
We're not going to give you written authorization to request a birth certificate. You need to write into us and request a copy of the birth certificate yourself.
Okay, so then I would be given express written permission.
You would have to write into us.
Well, why can't I just talk to you? Why does everything have to take the form of a letter?
Because we don't. Arizona birth and death records are not public information.
Oh, okay. Well, of course not. They're owned by a private company called State of Arizona. So here's you're definitely private because you just said it's not public information. So
Our birth and death records are not public information.
But that's because they're privately owned, and private organizations and corporations don't have to reveal anything.
Where are you getting that information from?
You just told me.
No.
That's not what I said.
You just said that it's not public
information.
So they're private. It's either public or private. So it's private then.
No, what I'm saying is that I don't know who you are. You have to prove to me who you are before I'll issue you a copy of a birth certificate.
How would I prove to you
your identity?
How would I do that? How would I do that?
With your valid identification.
And so how do I get valid ID?
You would have to have a valid driver's license showing who you are.
And how do I get that?
For your own personal birth certificate, you'll have to show valid ID like your driver's license.
Do you know what a catch-22 is? Do you know what a catch-22 is?
I do.
Okay, so how do I get a birth certificate without getting a driver's license first, which also requires the use of a birth certificate? How do I get to the driver's license without a birth certificate?
If you don't have a driver's license or a state-issued ID, then you'd have to see if you can get your signature notarized. And if you can't do that, then you'd have to have a parent apply for you.
Now, wait, when you say your signature, are you talking about the name at the birth certificate?
You'd have to get your signature on our application notarized.
Yeah, but what if my signature?
You have to have a parent apply for you.
Yeah, but what if my signature is no signature? What if that is my identity? No signature, no name.
Then you won't get a birth certificate.
Why is that?
Because you have to prove who you are.
No, what I have to do is prove that I am a third-party interloper using state-owned intellectual property at the birth certificate. I need to prove that in order to be in dishonor, in order to get that birth certificate, which I can then use to illegally acquire a driver's license. If I get that birth certificate without written permission from the owner of that birth certificate, that's called theft. It's called false witnessing. It's also called third-party interloping. It's illegal to do that. So in order to avoid an illegal act, I need to get express written permission from the one who owns that birth certificate, the original.
Okay. Okay. So, I mean, otherwise you can have a parent apply for you.
They can't do it either.
valid
See, you guys have figured this out. The attorneys that you work for have figured this out. Because when the parent does it, they're doing the same thing once removed from me. See, they're committing fraud instead of me. It doesn't matter. What you guys are wanting is for us to steal corporate intellectual property that has a copyright on it. That's what the birth certificate is.
Okay.
We cannot get a driver's license without the birth certificate. We can't get the birth certificate unless we lie and tell you that we are a name on a birth certificate, which is pretty much psychopathic because you're speaking to me. There's no other way for me to prove who I am other than the way I'm doing it right now.
Okay.
I'm not a piece of paper or words on a piece of paper. So when you're saying you don't know who I am and I have to prove who I am, well, putting something on a piece of paper is not going to prove who I am more than me speaking to you right now.
Okay. All right. Well, then, I mean, you can write to the legislation and work it that way if you'd like.
No, listen, I don't. Professional attorneys, legislators, these are all professional liars. These are deceivers. They are there to lie and enslave people that are okay with that. I mean, that's not what I really do. I mean, you work for them. You know this as well as I do. So, by the way, is there an attorney on staff that I could speak to?
Not on staff here, no.
Well, who's legal counsel for Bottle Records Arizona?
Okay. Hold on just a minute, okay?
Okay.